365 World News.
We are going to begin, though, with this extraordinary display of passion and activism yesterday. What a day yesterday. You saw these students stepping up the pressure to protect their schools, reduce gun violence, protesting in Washington, rallying in Florida's capital, staging walkouts at schools all across the country.
It really was something to see. And school shooting survivors and families meeting, as you know, with President Trump at the White House. An emotional listening session. ABC's Dan Harris starts us off with that powerful town hall that was held in Florida overnight. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you from the state capital of Tallahassee. Over here overnight in Tallahassee, 100 students boarded buses and returned to their homes after an emotional lobbying trip. But the activism from the Parkland community is far from over, as we saw overnight quite powerfully in that wild town hall.
Your comments this week and those of our president have been pathetically weak.
Overnight, lawmakers stepping up to listen to the often blistering concerns of Parkland students and parents of victims, including Republican Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who was endorsed by the NRA in 2016.
Look at me and tell me guns were the factor in the hunting of our kids in this school this week. And look at me and tell me you accept it and you will work with us to do something about guns. My daughter, running down the hallway at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, was shot in the back with an assault weapon, the weapon of choice. Yes, sir. Okay? It is too easy to get. It is a weapon of war. The fact that you can't stand with everybody in this building and say that, I'm sorry.
Sir, I do believe what you're saying is true. We instead should make sure that dangerous criminals, people that are deranged, cannot buy any gun of any kind. That's what I believe a better answer will be.
Okay. Your answer speaks for itself.
Rubio saying he would support a bill in Congress to fix the national background check system. But when asked this question by a Parkland student,
Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
The answer to the question is that people buy into my agenda. And I do support the Second Amendment. And I also support the right of you and everyone here to be able to go to school and be safe. During my time
More
there.
NRA money? More NRA money?
That is the wrong way to look. First of all, the answer is people buy into my agenda.
You could say no.
Number second, well...
Rubio, long a staunch defender of gun rights, did seem to change his position on raising the age limit for buying a semi-automatic rifle, which Nicholas Cruz allegedly used in the massacre last week.
Number one, Fred, I absolutely believe that in this country, if you are 18 years of age, you should not be able to buy a rifle, and I will support a law that takes that right away.
Fantastic.
Also overnight, the 100 students from Parkland boarded buses here in Florida's state capital and headed home after having learned some hard lessons about lawmaking.
First, we met with the speaker, and he kind of dismissed our thoughts.
Like he wasn't representing the people. Like we voted him in, and we can vote him out.
They were frustrated by scenes like this, where students repeatedly asked Republican State Senator Kathleen Passidomo whether she would support a ban on semi-automatic rifles.
What's your opinion on banning certain types of weapons?
Well, you know, I'd like to have that conversation. Somebody asked me yesterday, how do you feel about an assault rifle kind of thing? And my question was to define that.
I don't understand how something that can shoot so many bullets in a period of time can be in a civilian's hands.
There's a lot of good issues that you bring up.
As the senator repeatedly dodged questions, this Parkland mother, Anna Saavedra, fought back tears.
When she said she didn't really know about guns and all that, and she didn't understand, it was like, it was hard to know about it. If they're voting for these things, they should know.
While the students pressed their case in the halls of the Capitol, outside a large, loud protest.
Never again!
And across America, thousands of students walking out of schools in protest.
We will not tolerate this in our country.
Pro-gun advocates alleging the Parkland students are being used by liberals and arguing that surviving a school shooting does not make someone an expert in gun policy. One more note on that town hall on CNN overnight. There was a representative from the NRA on stage who took questions. She stood firm on NRA positions. She argued that the real problem with the Parkland massacre was that law enforcement missed repeated red flags from the suspect, Nicholas Cruz.
That town hall was quite intense. The activism that we're seeing from these young people, is there any chance that it's going to lead to any real change, Dan, when it comes to legislation?
Well, here in Tallahassee, the answer appears to be yes. In the next 10 days of the legislative session, it appears they will pass a bill. It probably will not include something many of the kids want, which is an outright ban on semi-automatic rifles, but it probably will include more money for school safety, more money for mental health treatment in schools, and a raising of the minimum age to purchase one of these semi-automatic rifles.
It's a step. All right. Thank you, Dan.